If you're willing and able to donate, please donate to my GoFundMe page. It helps so much. I wish I could remember all the names, the beautiful names. I try and memorize them. I really appreciate it. It has helped so much. Oh God, it means so much to me. And the spirit with which you do it. God bless you.
The lights of Hollywood have dimmed a little today. Sally Kirkland, the Golden Globe-winning Oscar-nominated actress who defined raw emotion and fearless artistry, has passed away at the age of 84. She died peacefully in Palm Springs, California, after spending her final days in hospice care, surrounded by love and quiet reflection. For those who remember the golden days of cinema, Sally Kirkland was more than just a performer. She was a force of nature, unpredictable, magnetic, and heartbreakingly human. Her journey from the heart of New York's theater scene to the bright lights of Hollywood was never smooth or easy, but that's exactly what made her story so compelling. Every wrinkle in her life was a story, every setback another act in a long, courageous play. Her name first lit up in 1980s, but her roots go much deeper. Born on Halloween in 1941 in New York City, she was a child of art and ambition. Her mother worked in fashion publishing, while her father's quiet stability grounded her restless creativity. From a young age, Sally was drawn to the stage. She studied at the legendary actor's studio, where she absorbed lessons not just about acting, but about truth. Acting, for her, was never pretending. It was peeling back layers until all that was left was the soul. In her early years, she moved through off-Broadway stages and underground art circles. She was bold, experimental, and unafraid to challenge expectations. She took roles that many others turned down because she believed that storytelling meant more than glamour, it meant honesty. That fearlessness earned her a reputation as one of the most daring actresses of her generation. Then came Anna. In 1987, Sally Kirkland gave the performance of a lifetime in Anna, a film about an aging Czechoslovakian actress trying to survive in New York after her fame faded in Europe. It wasn't just acting, it was life mirroring art. Sally poured every ounce of her experience, pain, and resilience into that role. The performance was so real that audiences felt like they weren't watching a character, they were watching Sally herself. For that, she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama and received an Academy Award nomination. It was the peak of her career, but she never let that define her. While some stars might have used that success as a launch pad into blockbusters and luxury, Sally chose the harder road. She kept acting in smaller films, independent projects, and even student works because she believed in the craft. She once said in an interview, "I act because I have to. It's not about fame, it's about connection." Over the decades, she built a resume with more than 250 acting credits, a staggering testament to her dedication. You could spot her in everything from The Sting to Bruce Almighty, from intense dramas to light-hearted comedies. She was the kind of actress who could move you to tears in one scene and make you laugh in the next, all without losing that spark of authenticity that made her unforgettable. But life behind the scenes wasn't always easy. Sally's journey through Hollywood was marked by moments of heartbreak, reinvention, and quiet endurance. She was open about her struggles with mental health, her battles with substance use, and her deep need to heal both herself and others. Later in life, she became a minister and healer, guiding people towards spiritual growth and self-acceptance. Her energy was wild yet peaceful, the kind of contradiction that only true artists seem to embody. In her later years, as her health began to fade, she remained fiercely independent. Even as dementia began to take hold, she continued to fight with the same spirit that had carried her through decades of uncertainty. Friends say that even in her most fragile moments, she would still smile, still crack jokes, still bring light to the people around her. That's who Sally was. Even as her body grew weaker, her soul refused to dim. Her final months were difficult. She suffered injuries from falls, fought off infections, and faced the quiet loneliness that so often comes to those who've spent their lives under the spotlight. Yet through it all, her closest friends rallied around her, raising funds for her medical care and ensuring that she was surrounded by compassion. They called her a fighter to the very end, and they were right. She never gave up. When the news of her passing broke, Hollywood paused to remember her. Not just as an actress, but as a pioneer, a woman who defied the industry's expectations, who took risks before it was fashionable to do so, and who reminded audiences that vulnerability is strength. Those who worked with her remember her intensity on set, the way she would walk into a scene like a storm and leave it feeling completely real. She didn't believe in acting halfway. For her, it was all or nothing. Even in her 70s, Sally continued to mentor younger performers. She often told them that Hollywood could be cruel, but art would always be kind. Her advice was simple: don't chase the light, be the light. That philosophy carried through every part of her life. Whether she was on screen, speaking at a charity event, or just talking to someone who needed encouragement, she radiated warmth. She didn't care about status or hierarchy. To her, everyone was an equal. Everyone had a story worth telling. As people look back on her career now, it's clear that Sally Kirkland's legacy goes far beyond awards and accolades. She stood as a symbol of resilience in an industry that often forgets its own heroes. She wasn't afraid to age, to struggle, to speak her truth. She showed that beauty isn't perfection, it's persistence. There's something poetic about the timing of her departure. To pass away in the desert quiet of Palm Springs, surrounded by sunlight and stillness, feels almost cinematic. You can imagine her spirit walking off into that endless horizon, the same horizon she chased all her life, still hungry for adventure, still chasing stories, still alive in the hearts of those she inspired. Her death is a loss not only for film lovers, but for anyone who's ever dared to dream past the boundaries of convention. She wasn't a superstar in the traditional sense. She didn't live in mansions or headline blockbusters. What she did instead was far more meaningful. She lived for the art. She gave herself completely to it. And in doing so, she reminded us that true greatness doesn't always shine the brightest. Sometimes it burns the longest. For those who knew her personally, her absence will be felt deeply. She had a way of turning every conversation into something meaningful. Friends describe her as spiritual, fiery, funny, and endlessly compassionate. Even when she disagreed with you, she did it with love. She didn't just act with passion, she lived that way. As we reflect on her passing, it's impossible not to feel a mix of sadness and gratitude. Sadness, because we've lost a genuine artist. Gratitude, because we were lucky enough to witness her brilliance at all. Sally Kirkland's career reminds us that art is not about perfection, but about presence. And she was fully present every single time she stepped in front of a camera. Now, her story joins the countless legends who came before her, the ones who poured themselves into their craft until their final curtain call. She's part of that eternal conversation between artist and audience, a voice that will echo long after the applause fades. And somewhere out there, maybe in that quiet desert sky she called home, the spirit of Sally Kirkland is smiling, bold as ever, her heart still full of light, whispering to anyone who's ever doubted themselves, keep going. The world still needs your story. Rest in peace, Sally Kirkland. Your legacy will never fade, because the truth you gave to your art will live on, scene after scene, for generations to come. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to daily updates and never miss a video.